The Philippine Consulate General in New York City is advising Filipinos to remain vigilant following racial attacks in the area. Just a warning, you may find these next images disturbing.
Move it. Let me see. Take it off. Nah, push it right here.
And that was theater actor Miguel Braganza. He was on his way to his apartment in the Upper West Side when two individuals hit him with a gun on his forehead. According to Consul General Elmer Cato, police authorities said it was a failed robbery attempt that may have racist undertones. Let's now speak with the Consul General joining us live from New York. Conjen, maraming salamat po for joining us on The Final Word. Kamusta po ang lagayan ngayon ni Mr. Braganza at ni Potri?
Well, good evening there, Rico. Potri and Miguel are okay. The incidents involving them happened about a week ago, and we've been following up on them and with the NYPD on the incidents involving them last week. But they're okay.
How many anti-Asian hate crimes, Conjen, involving Filipinos have so far been recorded this 2021?
Well, we've had a surge. Total hate crimes in New York, according to the New York City Police Department, went up by 102% in 2021 compared to 2020. And as far as Asian hate crimes are concerned, this went up 375% from 24 in 2020 to 114 up to July this year. And of the number of anti-Asian hate crimes reported, the consulate was able to record about 18 cases, but we believe there are more. Unfortunately, our kababayan are not in the habit of informing the consulate about these incidents that may have affected them.
18 cases so far this year. What has the New York Police Department told you about these incidents? Have they been able to arrest or catch a majority of the culprits?
Well, based on the records that they've submitted, the number of arrests for 2021 is about 130. As far as those involving Filipinos are concerned, we are aware of the arrest of the ex-convict who assaulted our 65-year-old kababayan as she was going to church in April. In the case of Potri and Miguel Braganza, we still are following up with NYPD on this. The case of Miguel was initially reported to have been a failed robbery attempt, but based on what Miguel told me a few days ago, there were some racist remarks hurled at him while the robbery was taking place. So we classified it as a hate incident. Yung kay Potri naman, we were in touch with the anti-Asian hate crime desk of NYPD last night, but they said they still could not find the report. So I'm trying to clarify with Potri if she was able to report this to police because hindi makita nung ating mga Filipino-American detectives assigned to the anti-Asian hate crime desk.
But are these cases increasing because of COVID-19?
Well, the spike came after the outbreak of COVID, and unfortunately, people here believe that, of course, no, the virus came from Asia, and somehow they are blaming Asians for the outbreak. But most of the cases involving Filipinos are isolated. These are unprovoked, spontaneous incidents involving sometimes homeless individuals. And here in New York, according to the statistics released by authorities recently, 40% of homeless individuals, homeless males in New York City have mental health issues. So most of the attacks, hate crimes involving Filipinos and other Asians are carried out by individuals with mental health issues.
Right.
So yun yung nakikita natin. And Filipinos are not being targeted because they are Filipinos, but because they are Asians. We look Chinese.
Yeah. So,
and based on statistics of an NGO based in San Francisco, the Chinese accounted for the largest number of hate incidents across the United States, followed by Koreans and then Filipinos.
So
Number three,
Conjen, briefly, no, what is your advice to our kababayans in New York when outside of their residences? And how can they contact immediately the consulate if they need assistance?
yeah, we've been telling them since April was the month where we had the highest number of anti-Asian hate crime incidents in New York City, and we immediately issued advisories telling our kababayan to call 911 to report to the consulate. We activated the hotline for them to call us and inform us, and then we conducted webinars and self-defense workshops to allow them to have that added assurance that once they're outside their residences, they would somehow feel safe. But as I've said earlier, most of these attacks are unprovoked, they're spontaneous, they could happen anywhere. And despite the efforts of the NYPD to deploy more police officers, we just can't pinpoint where this would happen. Most of the incidents happen in the subways, outside homes. So we are urging our kababayan to be more vigilant when outside their residences.
Right.
Yun yung paulit-ulit naming sinasabi. And hopefully with the two recent high-profile cases, ay mas maging aware yung ating mga kababayan. And we've been told of several other incidents, but unfortunately, the victims have not reached out to the consulate yet. So yung panawagan natin palagi is kung may nangyari sa kanila, please inform us so we could put together all the data.
Right.
So we could inform our kababayan on what the real situation is and what they could do about it.
Consul General Elmer Cato, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word, joining us live from New York City.